So folks, in today's video, I'm going to be very open and honest about everything. I'm not going to try to hide or ignore stuff. I really believe in being open and transparent. So the first thing, welcome to my bug out location here. Second thing, if you hear a tractor in the background or something like that, my neighbor who is several acres away is running his tractor, and if it looks like it's getting dark, it is here. I'm hoping the fire will kind of help illuminate me, but I'm sure he's fighting the light and trying to, get stuff done before it gets too dark. And same here, I'm trying to get this video filmed before it gets too dark. And then the second thing, and this is what this video is really about, is I am getting fat. I mean, if you look at this video just from late last year, you can see how much lighter I was in that video. That's just, again, late 2023 compared to now. So if you come across any of my older videos where I am harping on people about eating better and getting up off the couch and getting more exercise, you have my full permission to leave a comment on that video saying, "Keep talking like that, fat boy. I see what you look like now." So I've put on about 30 pounds, I think, since the beginning of 2024. This is still fairly early 2024. And I could tell I was getting heavier because, my pants fitting tighter and stuff like that. But I think when I really noticed how much extra weight I had put on was when Praxis Prepper and I had shot that video together. Now, to be fair, Praxis is very trim, so he doesn't have any extra fat on him at all. So, you can't really compare yourself to him. But anyways, I could still see how much more of a stomach and how much more of a double chin and stuff like that I had in that video that I shot with Praxis. I could see how much more of a stomach I had put on and how much more of a double chin and stuff like that I had, again, put on since late 2023. So now let me give you the excuses, the reasons, actually the excuses of why I have put on like 30 pounds in the past 4 months. My wife and I had decided in late 2023, we had decided that starting in 2024, starting January 1st of 2024, that we were going to start pinching our pennies and seeing if we could save just every single little cent that we could, and then use all of that extra money to try to pay off all of our debt. So what we started doing is we started going to the grocery store every 2 weeks, and then we was buying just the cheapest of the cheap groceries. A lot of beans and rice, a lot of rice, white bread, white potatoes, all those starchy foods, because we were just buying foods that just cost pennies. And then that's what we would eat off for the next 2 weeks until our next paycheck. But besides that, we cut out a lot of other stuff too, like exercise stuff that we would get, like martial arts that her and I was taking. So not only are we eating worse, but we're also getting less exercise because we cut off again, stuff like martial arts training and stuff like that we was doing. Now, the downside of that, eating those starchy foods, getting less exercise and stuff like that, is we were able to pay off this property. We own this outright now. And we also have no car payments. We didn't have car payments before, but the only debt that we have now is our house, and we are shooting to try to pay off our house in 2024, but probably won't be able to pay it off in 2024. But hopefully maybe in the first half of 2025, we'll actually have our house paid off. Now, the reason why I wanted to pay off all of our debt is because I am a firm believer that we are eventually going to have an economic collapse at some point. Could be 6 months from now, could be 6 years from now, might be 20 years from now, who knows? But I do believe an economic collapse is coming somewhere down the turnpike. And this economic collapse could be caused by numerous different things. It could be caused by a cyber attack on our infrastructure that brings a lot of things to a halt, or it could be that our fiat currency finally collapses. I mean, who knows? But one of the main things one of the takeaways, the big takeaway that I got from the first Great Depression, even though we had an economic collapse, the banks and lenders and stuff like that was still seizing homes and properties and farms from people that owed them money. So even though we had this big collapse, financial collapse in the United States, the people that truly owned things like banks and stuff like that were still seizing the properties and the homes and the farms and kicking people off those properties and making those people homeless. So a big thing for me, get everything paid off as best as you can. So the bad news is living so frugal, I've put on 30 pounds, but the good news is that we have absolutely no debt now, other than I think about $34,000 left on our house. We have no credit cards. We have no payments on our cars. We got this property paid off. There's no student loans, nothing at all except for our house payment now. Now, when I very first started putting on a few extra pounds when we first started doing this, I tried eating a little bit less. I thought, well, if I'm eating these foods that are more starchy and have more calories and stuff like that to them, maybe I'll eat less of that food so I won't gain so much weight. But one of the issues I ran into there then is that if I ate less, then I still found myself really hungry right before it was time to go to bed. And if I tried to go to bed hungry, then I wasn't able to go to sleep. So I'd end up eating before going to bed. So now I eat until I'm satiated, but it's putting on the weight. But these are still excuses. I could eat less, still go to bed hungry, force myself to go to sleep, and I could, even though we gave up martial arts to save money, I still could get out and jog or walk or do push-ups, types of exercise that doesn't cost any money. But in the end, all of those are excuses. Again, like I said, I could eat less and force myself to go to sleep hungry. I could do free exercises. Ultimately, I am choosing not to do those, but this video is just to bring it out in the open. Yes, ethical preparedness is getting fat. Now, my plan is once we get the house paid off, is for me to go back to eating and exercising the way I was before. I really have always been proud, even though I'm in my 50s, I have always been proud that I've been able to keep my cholesterol and my blood sugar and other metabolic numbers like that under control and within the normal range, purely by diet only, not taking medications of any kind. So again, my plan is once we get the house paid off, I'm going to go back to the way that I was eating. It wasn't nearly as cheap as, how we're eating now. It's actually not cheap at all, but I'm going to go back to that way of eating, go back to doing martial arts and stuff like that. And because what I don't want is to get everything paid off and get my house paid off, but then be on 15 different medications because I let my health go. Now, luckily, we live well below our means. We bought half the house that we actually could have afforded on our paychecks. We also do not buy brand new cars, and then if we buy a used car, we make sure it's a good used car, and then we really take care of that vehicle and drive it and get the most use out of it. So really living below our means really allowed us to say, hey, when we're going to buckle down, that we're really able within like a year and a half's time, just absolutely just pay off everything that we own, including the house. Now let's give a little bit of an update here on this bug out location. I'm still working hard on the fruit orchard. I'm still taking care and nursing the baby black walnuts and other types of food producing trees that I've planted out here. And it's a struggle, and I'm fighting the deer and stuff out here, but everything is still slowly coming along. And of course, it's just a great feeling knowing that we outright own this property now. So if you regularly watch this channel, you know that lately I have been big into learning how to make my own medicines from the trees and plants that grow wild around us. And so to see a playlist where you can learn how to make a bunch of these different medicines, then click on the video that should be appearing on the screen just about now to learn what most other preppers don't know. Anyways, folks, this is enough internet for me today. I do need to, start getting ready for bed as dark as it's getting. And folks, if you made it this far, hey, thank you very much for watching. I pray that you have a good night.